welcome, beloved, to the Dr. Mumbi Show. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways and that you are moving into living life truly on your own terms. We want to thank everybody that makes this show possible by supporting us on our Patreon and our PayPal accounts. We would not be able to do this show without you guys. A lot of you have reached out for marketing on the show. We've just, everything has just been happening. It was, 1 minute we were in Gambia, next minute the pandemic happened, and now, Africa is opening it up. So we will definitely try and get to those emails as quickly as possible. We also want to thank everyone that emails us all the news stories, our silent reporters from across the world who always share the interesting stories even before we've had a chance to really, go through the newspapers ourselves. And this one, thanks to the person that shared this with, there's an organization called the United States of Africa that they've just registered. They've just registered, I think, in the divided states, and they are moving towards creating, fighting the anti-colonialism agenda. So, shout out to them. And, Algeria has announced that they are seeking an apology from, France for the colonial occupation that occurred. They're seeking an apology. I love it, it's not business as usual in Africa. Whether you say North Africa is part of Africa, whatever your argument is, whether you say it's neocolonizers who are colonized, however you want to put it. What happened is that, the president was actually interviewed, President Adbel Majib Tebboune, on Saturday in an exclusive interview with a very popular French channel called RFI. Well, RFI's sister TV, France 24. France 24 is basically like the French government's answer to the BBCs and the CNNs of this world, where they're also now literally pushing their propaganda and pushing their agenda, especially in Africa. I mean, France 24, I think it was CFI, the French company that was investing even in like a Nigerian movie making company, but those are stories that I covered previously. So what the president said is that Algeria is waiting for an apology for France's colonial occupation of the North African country, and the president expressed hope that Emmanuel Macron would be the one to do it and would build on the recent reconciliatory overtures. And what we've seen is, after the death of George Floyd, the murder of George Floyd, there's been this global anti-colonialist movement that has really captured the imagination of many, many people. So the president of Algeria went to say on that, listen to this, guys. I believe that with President Macron, we can go further in the appeasement process. He is a very honest man who wants to improve the situation. Macron, honest? Are you a Rothschild puppet? Honest? Really? Well, I hope you don't want just an apology, but you also are hoping for some money. But hey, Macron, I guess your PR campaign in Africa is working. What? Macron honest. That's crazy. And, he went on to say that France's 132-year colonial rule in Algeria and the brutal 8-year, liberation war that ended it have left a legacy, often prickly relations between the two countries. And, the George Floyd murder kind of blew this back into the open. And so the Algeria president, of course, the journalists are also just trying to get these answers. But he said, an apology from France would make it possible to cool tensions and create a calmer atmosphere for economic and cultural relations, especially for the more than 6 million Algerians who currently live in France. That's like a neo-colonial invasion of Algerians in France. That's what someone told me once, the reoccupation of Africans would be our youth going to these countries and basically, doing all kinds of things. Anyway, in December 2019, Macron had actually said that colonialism was a grave mistake. And that's basically as far as they go. We did see even the Belgian king, he actually sent his regrets. He didn't explicitly apologize, although the African newspapers had put that he apologized. So it's all about economics, beloveds. If they put apology, then they know, you got to pay. no apology is free. So are we going to see Macron actually come out and give Algeria, the apology they demand? And first of all, I didn't even know there were tensions between Algeria and France. But those are definitely stories. 4 other days we're going to be covering a lot of this in our new program, Africa 101. If there's any story you'd like us to share, go ahead and email us, mumbi.saraki@gmail.com or drmumbi@drmumbishow.com. Tuko pamoja.
Wake up. Wake up, Africa, your time has come. Open up your eyes and see the sun. Open up your spirit. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, Africa.
Hello and welcome to Africa Watch on the Dr. Mumbi Show. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I pray that you're well wherever you are. I pray that you're just, living your best life. And thanks to every single person that has subscribed to the channel. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that notification button so that you find out every single time we upload a new episode. And thanks to all our new Patreon and, consistent Patreon family. I love you guys. And also, to all the people who support us, through our PayPal account. I really, really appreciate you guys. Now, so much is happening on the continent as usual. But now I'm actually bringing you news about the continent, but from off the continent. And, strange things have been happening since the full moon, super blood moon, wolf moon, whatever that took place last Sunday. And I told you guys, things are starting to shift. You don't even need omens, but the omens confirm what is happening on the ground. And actually, that same Sunday, Italian Deputy Prime Minister came out and called out France, and it has caused so many issues. So he was speaking at a rally, and he said that, and he was talking about this whole immigration thing that's going on. His name is Luigi Di Maio, and he said that France is one of those countries that by printing money for 14 African states prevents their economic development and contributes to the fact that the refugees leave and then die in the sea or arrive on our coast. And he went on to say, this is so dope. This is so dope. If France didn't have its African colonies, because that's what they should be called, it would be the 15th largest world economy. Instead, it's among the first, exactly because of what it's doing to Africa. So now we have a fellow European calling out another fellow European on their bad behavior. And it's actually unprecedented. Quite a few of you sent me this article and you were like, what's up? Is it like good cop, bad cop? What's the deal? So I've looked into it, and basically, there's been a huge migrant crisis, although it's more exaggerated than what is actually how many people are actually moving. And a new party was elected in Italy that is anti-Macron and anti-French. So they're here. They're just battling it out. And what has happened is that they've taken a very hard stance on a very strong policy against immigration. So they've got a very strong anti-immigrant policy where if you are even an Italian citizen and you're found to have been a migrant or something, they can actually take away your Italian citizenship. So, and this is what they were voted in on. And so he's the head of this, it's called the 5-Star Movement, and it's an anti-establishment kind of party. And it was founded in 2009 by a popular comedian and blogger and web strategist. And it's they call it right wing, but what I'm seeing that's happening in Europe is that a lot of these parties that are coming up that we're told are right wing or fascist are actually just nationalists saying we want our nations back because there is a covert plan to collapse Europe, and you guys need to look into the Kalergi plan. But those are their issues, and so not our circus, not our monkeys, literally. But what's happening now is because of this fight, Luigi Di Maio, he had this rally on Sunday, and so he came out and he said, let me not be a hypocrite and always say that it's these immigrants that are coming over, but let's start looking at some of the causes. And some of the causes is because France has still colonized the 14 nations that submit to and participate in the CFA, which is like the franc currency. And so it's issued, the main problem with this is that it's issued by the French government, and they actually determine, so it's they determine the rate. So it's like they determine the what do you call it when you the rate, from euro to the CFA, and it's everything is controlled by the French central bank. And first of all, France has always said that it's helped to provide African countries with financial stability, but this is actually a lie. And this is what the Italian Deputy Prime Minister called him out for, because he said, no, it's not helping with financial stability. It's actually stunting the economic growth of these 14 nations. France didn't want to hear none of it. So France yesterday actually summoned the entire, the Italian ambassador, and was like, yo, it's like when your teammate goes out and sells you to the press, and you're like, yo, we did what? It's getting exciting, guys. Italy calling out France for being a colonizer of Africa till today. What? Stranger things have happened. That eclipse is affecting people.